You're listening to the SMSF Academy podcast, and this is episode 28.
Welcome to the SMSF Academy podcast, the show designed to help professionals stay ahead of the curve. Now, here's your host, the man that's in the know and shows you how SMSF is done right, Aaron Dunn.
Hey there folks, Aaron Dunn here from the SMSF Academy. Welcome back, and we look forward to an even more exciting podcast in the 2018 year. Hopefully the year is going to be full of excitement and opportunities for you. For us, we're seeing the exciting rebrand of our SMSF Academy business towards the end of January, and we'll share a little bit more of that rebrand over the coming weeks as we get close to that launch stage. So it is an exciting time of year. It's a part of the year that is full of optimism as we focus on what we want to achieve in the year ahead, whether that's from a personal context or business context. And I guess when we look at what we want to focus on and specifically some of the things that we're trying to achieve, what I thought I'd cover off on today is 8 things that you might want to be focusing on in 2018. And of course, this will have a very direct relationship to the SMSF part of your business, but more importantly, it does branch right across the way in which you would operate your business, whether it's as a financial planning practice, an accounting practice, maybe a composite of that, or some other areas that you work within inside the financial services sector. So let's go through some of these things. And again, just really touching on some key items that I see as being really important and things that I'm doing myself at the moment around, I guess, sharpening the pencil in respect to what I'm looking to achieve inside the business in this current year. And the first one here is around upping the ante in your knowledge for this year. Now, the super reforms here have meant that you're going to need to increase and improve that knowledge and skill around superannuation and SMSFs. And we've seen over the past year, there's been a real focus on trying to, I guess, recalibrate your mind in terms of the old rules and bringing in the new requirements. And that's certainly going to continue. I think about myself in the lead up to 30 June or the introduction of those measures from the 1st of July, it was very linear in the approach to trying to etch out some of the old requirements and starting to build in the way in which the new rules would work, whether the transfer balance cap, we'd be thinking about total superannuation balances and so forth. And it wasn't until when I got to the 1st of July and actually went away for 5 weeks that I came back, and it gave me time to then think about more laterally, well, how are these rules now going to apply to many of the strategies that we've been employing with our clients over the many years of which those simpler super reforms had been in play. So this is something that in particular in this year, I'm hoping that you're starting to think a little bit more laterally on the basis that in the last financial or in the last calendar year, you spent a lot of time rewiring your brain around the new rules and what they actually mean with your clients. You would have spent a lot of time looking at the processes, maybe updating trust deeds, having discussions around advice for your clients, but it is going to continue to evolve, this legislation, and therefore, what goal therefore are you going to set yourself, your business, in particular your staff, as they start to have to implement many of these measures, and in this year, ensuring that you are ultimately providing the best advice to your clients. That may be through creation of opportunities and looking at the latest strategies post 1 July 2017, but also it may be around managing risk as well. So I challenge you to up the ante in your knowledge for 2018. The other thing here is consistency in approach, and this is number 2. And one of my favorite sayings here is to be successful, you need to be consistent. And this is true in life as we set goals at this time of year. And the same here actually goes for a range of things right across your business, in particular when we look at our SMSF business. And it's around the way in which we generate the particular documents. So making sure we've got a consistency in the documentation that we implement for our particular clients, processes in how you do your work, the way in which you apply your marketing or social media approach for clients and prospective clients. A consistency in all those things is going to be key. And most importantly here, it doesn't matter how small the steps are that allow you to move forward in this space. It is more important that these steps are actually going to be consistent here. And the consistency is one of the real critical pieces in this overall approach, because consistency will ensure that you start to build a rhythm in how you go about doing whatever you're intending to do in that particular year. So now let's move on to what I see as the third one, and this is around ramping up your technology focus. So we've spent a bit of time over the past few years looking at the impact of things like automation, the adoption of, say, cloud-based software, and that's been driven through efficiencies, but also putting a focus on the fact that we can provide better reporting with our clients and greater levels of engagement that we've ever had before. Now what we're seeing though is it's going and extending much more beyond just that information being there available to us and to our clients to not only deliver those efficiencies but engage. And those things are going to be critically important going forward. But now we're starting to see large levels of data being available, giving us insights that we really only dreamed about a few years ago. And therefore, as we move into the future and we think about things like what artificial intelligence might be able to do, it is without a doubt going to reshape industries like we've never seen before. And we are already seeing within the SMSF space the influence of things like big data in particular, where we could very quickly and distinctively look at which clients had a total superannuation balance of above $1.6 million. And we were able to identify within the software what clients had concessional contributions above the reduced $25,000 cap. All those things where we've got this data available to us, and having these insights available in our software like Simple Fund 360 or Class and so forth means that we have this stuff at our fingertips that allows us to better make decisions for our clients in a more timely basis. And the ability to overlay that further with artificial intelligence, like I said, over the coming years, it's going to be very exciting, very scary for some people by the same stretch, but very exciting in terms of where we may head around that technology as well. So whether you're at the start of a technology journey, and there are still many of us thinking about cloud decisions here, or whether you're well into the process, remaining focused on this area, keeping up with trends, and remaining curious of what is potentially available here will be crucial to your success in 2018. In many respects, in my own business, we 3 years ago wouldn't have even contemplated the fact that I'd have 2 full-time developers now working inside our business. And as we went on the journey of building a document platform and the integrations that we have inside our membership area, many of the thoughts and processes that I had in my own head were, I wonder if I could do this. Whereas now it is all about, I wonder how I can achieve this. And the one word there has made a profound difference. No longer am I wondering if, but I'm actually focusing on how it can actually happen. And therefore, thinking about that technology footprint, how that fits into your business, like I said, is going to be really critical to your success, not only in 2018, but well into the future. So our fourth one now is really thinking about revisiting your business model. And with the ongoing regulatory reforms, we've seen legislative change, and this technology forging ahead in leaps and bounds, it is important to take a step back and revisit just how your existing business model is currently set up and assess its viability moving forward into not only the year ahead in 2018, but the years beyond. And in this area, what we see is the very traditional ways in which, say, for example, accountants have gone about doing their work is fundamentally changing as a result of things like the technology and the software that we have in play now. So one of the tools that I highly recommend people use in this space to consider around your business model is the business model canvas template. This was developed by Alex Osterwalder of Strategizer some time ago, which takes a single page view of your customer segment. So who is your ideal client? It'll look at your value proposition, and you can go down further and look at the value proposition canvas that they also have in this space. It'll determine your customer relationship. So are you a low cost provider, or are you trying to provide a high touch service? And in many instances, businesses get caught up in price with their clients, and the clients will challenge them on whether the price that they're being charged is competitive in the marketplace, because what the problem is the articulation of the value in that value proposition is being tested against a business that has an entirely different business model. So if you are a high touch relationship and you've actually set about the way in which the customer relationship is to work and the way in which the value proposition is to be upheld, then you shouldn't be having those conversations around things like your pricing and being compared to a low-cost online provider, because you've been able to clearly articulate that as part of your overall business model. You'll need to think about here your channels of communication to your clients, the revenue stream. So are you looking at an annuity-based model, or are you looking at still continuing in a timesheet-based approach? What key activities you're going to be putting in place, the key resources you actually need in your business. So we spoke before about the increased role in which technology will play. Are you going to look at just hiring more accountants, or do you need to make a shift and look at how you might actually start to employ various technology or web development skills to be able to deliver certain solutions to your clients? Key partners in your business, so whether that's the software providers, it might be a licensee that you're working with, and ultimately your cost structure that sits around that as well. So revisiting your business model as point number 4 here is one of the things you should focus on in 2018, I think is really important. Then 5, we move into creating a plan. So we have an understanding of what our business model is like today and where you want to take it. We need to start to put in place your plan for the future, setting out what your goals may be over the next 3 to 5 years. And not only do we need to look at that in that time frame, but of course we need to start peeling that back so that we actually look at it in terms of the next year, and then we might take that down to the next 90 days. And if you take an agile approach to dealing with work, we see a lot of businesses now, and we do this ourselves, we try and break it down into bite-sized chunks. So we might be moving in 2 or 3 week blocks and really stepping through what we're trying to achieve. Bite-sized chunks, being consistent, as I talked about up before, step 2, consistency approach, will ensure that we get to what we're wanting to achieve. And that's one of the key things that I've been focused on in our business, to ensure that we have our plan, we've got our clear business model, and we work in a consistent approach to ensure that we achieve what we want to achieve. It may be making in your business a shift to a more advisory-based solution, and that might require further education inside your practice. It might be to bring staff on in your business. It may be investing heavily into technology to better deliver services to your clients. You need to put some time frames around those things and then work out from there, how are you going to break that down to ensure that you can achieve that within the specified timeframes. Number 6 here is to get the team involved. Team buy-in here is king. They say, I guess, that you're only as good as the people working around you. Business here has always been about people, whether it's as an employee, whether it's been contractors that you've got in your business, collaborators that you have, key partners, your clients and your customers. Your focus must be here on the creative potential of those around you to ensure ultimately that you deliver on what you are promising your clients. It's important here to nurture the talent that you have in your business, engage them in the big business decisions that are going to ultimately impact their lives too, and help release that true potential of what can be achieved in your business in 2018. I can't stress that enough. Regardless of how small you are, ensuring that everyone's involved is going to ultimately help deliver the outcomes that you want as well. Number 7 here is get real expertise in your business. So what do I mean here? What I mean is, do you have a person or people who are 100% across the specific software that you use in your business? Hand on heart, can you say 100% specifically across the software you use in your business? So the challenge here is if you don't, how much therefore are you leaving on the table where you don't have that genuine expertise around what is a fundamental core part of your business to deliver what you provide to your clients? Now, sure, you might say Sue or Tony is the go-to person in your business when it comes to a piece of software, but if you ask them just how much they know, they'll probably fall well short of 100%. If they don't, fantastic, well done to you, and that's great. But it is very, very rare that that is the case. Now, Steph Hines from GrowthWise spoke about this at the BGL Rig Tech events in August last year around Australia. And this really hit a chord with me because it is very important, and she raised this with the room, and there weren't many that could fundamentally say we had that person inside the business. And I go back, and the reason why it sort of hit a chord with me because I recall my early days as an accountant working within SMSFs. And finally, I built up a really strong working relationship with Matt Cross, who's now the head of cloud at BGL, and I guess challenged myself, and it was more motivated to me, I guess initially, rather than the business sort of pushing me around this. But I became a beta tester for the Simple Fun product. Now, this isn't a way for you to go, okay, well, I want to become a beta tester for a product or whatever, but it's about really knowing your craft in respect to what you're using. And here, fundamentally, what I did is I asked questions. I provided regular feedback to the point that Matt was probably sick of me, but it created new and improved ways of doing things, not only in respect to the clients and the service offering that we had, but also to the product to further enhance the product, again, to deliver ultimately what we wanted to provide for our clients. Now, sure, that provided a lot of other benefits beyond our business as well, which is fine, but it's still to this day, I regularly chat with Matt about the direction of the industry and the role that the software is going to play, and in particular now where we have in our own platform the integration that we have with Simple Fun 360 to help practitioners be at the top of their game. And this is really critical here. So get the expertise in your business and make sure they're challenging the ways in which work is going to be done and where it can be improved. Really focus on that continuous improvement because we're seeing the software fundamentally reshape the way in which we are doing our work. So being at the top of your game and having 100% knowledge across software is going to be really critical. And the 8th one and final one here in the things to focus on in 2018 is to take action. Too often, the best ideas never move past the piece of paper that they're written on. And that's a quotable tweet that you could use there. It's very easy to get caught up in focusing on what your competitors are doing, or you're just getting busy, wondering whether it can be achieved or not, or you just get so busy in what you're doing, you go back into being busy and looking for any excuse other than actually taking the action that you're intending on doing. The reality is that your speed doesn't matter when it comes to taking action. Forward is forward, and that's the most important thing that you need to focus on here. Start and don't aim for perfection or else you never finish. If it's seeing whether a client is prepared to move to monthly pricing, for example, but you're not sure or not, test it on a new client, one that doesn't know the old ways of how things are being done. Test it and measure it constantly until you feel like you know that you've got a minimum viable solution that you can roll out to the next group of your clients and so on. It's not about rolling it out to all of your clients right now. Therefore, as the saying goes, you're never going to eat an elephant in one bite. Start one bite at a time. And that's a philosophy that took me a while to overcome, but importantly now, get it to a point where we can get our users and our clients, our customers, to really get their teeth stuck into it. Sure, it might not be perfect, but if people see the potential in it, they're going to be prepared to stick it out and provide as much feedback as they possibly can to ensure that it's going to improve their lives as well. So taking action is the final one there in the 8 things to focus on in 2018. So let's just recap. The first one, upping your ante in the knowledge. We've spoken about the impact of the super reforms and the ongoing challenges that presents. The year ahead provides us with a greater level of opportunity to think more laterally around how it's going to impact our clients as we move into 2018 and beyond. The second one is consistency and approach. To be successful, you need to be consistent. The third one, ramping up your technology focus, looking at the impact that this is going to play on the way in which you deliver services to your clients. The fourth one was revisiting your business model, understanding what impact things like technology, regulatory reform, and legislative change is having on the way in which you're doing work today and into the future. The fifth one is create a plan. So set about your targets for the next 3 to 5 years and then break that down right back down to a year and then your next 90 days and even into smaller bite-sized chunks as you see fit. The sixth one, team buy-in is king. So get your team involved. Like I said, you're only as good as the people that work around you. The more you can engage, statistics and data tells us that the better that team will ultimately perform. 7, get real expertise in your business. Ensure that you've got people who are 100% across specific software that you use in your business. Without that, you're leaving value on the table with your clients. And the last one, number 8, is to take action. Okay, don't wait for perfection. You'll be waiting forever. So that's it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you're focusing on in 2018 in your business. I wish you a great year ahead, and I look forward to talking through on many of these topics right throughout 2018. Take care, and I look forward to you joining me for next week's podcast.
Thanks for listening to the SMSF Academy podcast. Please note that the podcast provides general advice only and is based upon our understanding of the law at the time of the recording. If you have any comments or questions from this podcast or wish to subscribe to the series, you can find us at the smsfacademy.com.au. Tweet us at the SMSF Academy, like us on Facebook, or connect with us on LinkedIn.